Now to Arlington, where a family dealing with a huge nightmare. Not one, but two of their kids testing positive for COVID-19 despite their best efforts to avoid the virus. Brooke Katz in studio tonight with this family story. Brooke?
And Doug, what makes this even more difficult is that one of the boys is medically fragile. Mom and dad say that they have been taking all the proper precautions since the pandemic began. They hope other parents see their story and realize this can happen to anyone.
He was starting to get sick. He was retching. That was going on for about a week and a half or 2 weeks. And then kind of slowly, it seemed like different parts of his body were shutting down.
Jeff and Catherine Carlton are no strangers to the hospital. Their 11-year-old son, Scott, was born with a terminal brain malformation. But when he was diagnosed with COVID-19 earlier this month, it was a stay like they have never experienced before.
Even just the idea of doctors and nurses being fully gowned up and masked and wearing PPE for their protection, for protecting the other patient, it just makes a tough experience even more uneasy.
Then the second shock. Their healthy 9-year-old son, Jeffrey, also tested positive.
One day we're doing everything right for 4 months and it still got in our house.
People have to realize you do the best you can and you can't always prevent this.
Dr. Maxie Brewer with Cook Children's Hospital cared for Scott. In spite of his underlying condition, he spent just 3 nights in the hospital.
Oxygen was the mainstay for him, and that was the biggest deal, was trying to get him off his oxygen for a period of time so that we could make sure he was doing better to get him home.
But going home came with new challenges. While the 2 boys were positive, Jeff, Catherine, and their 6-year-old daughter, Jenna, all tested negative.
Truthfully, the logistics of doing this at home when you have 1 healthy child and 2 who are COVID positive is almost impossible.
But they're making it work, keeping apart as best they can, having Jeffrey wear a mask even inside. For the moment, they're just happy to have Scotty home and on the mend.
We thought this would be a death sentence, and we know we're still not out of the woods, of course, but this is our worst fear of him having it because we didn't think he would recover. His being home now is pretty miraculous and shows just how strong he is.
Both boys are still not feeling great, but they are doing better. The entire family is going to have to stay quarantined for at least 15 more days, and that is assuming that no one else gets sick. But just to give you an idea how strong little Scotty is, he wasn't expected to live past 2. Doug, he is now 11 years old.
Young warrior defined. Brooke, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. Best wishes for the family.